Welcome to This Explainer. Medicinal mushrooms are literally everywhere right now. They're taking up entire aisles at the health food store. But today, we're skipping all that marketing fluff. In this whiteboard review, we're going to dive straight into what the actual clinical data reveals. It's the question we're all asking, right? Are these supplements just another wellness fad, or is there profound science actually backing them up? Let's cut right through the jargon and see exactly what the scientific literature says about these ancient remedies, focusing strictly on the clinical trials, the active compounds, and tangible outcomes for human health. All right, here's our roadmap. We're going to cover brain power and physical energy, stress relief and metabolism, immune support and protection, and then finish up with a guide on choosing high-quality supplements. Okay, Section 1, Brain Power and Physical Energy. Looking at the top of our clinical master guide, two specific mushrooms immediately stand out for significantly boosting cognitive and physical energy. Let's see how they actually pull this off inside the body. Let's pull out the specifics here. Lion's mane is basically your brain's best friend. It targets the brain using active compounds called hericenones and ericinines. The research shows these compounds easily cross into the brain to promote healthy nerve cell growth and protect the ones you already have. Actually, in a 2009 double-blind study, older adults with mild memory issues saw significant improvements in their memory scores after just 16 weeks. Now, on the flip side, we have Cordyceps. Its active compound, cordycepin, doesn't just spike your nervous system like a cup of coffee. Instead, it works at a baseline level, helping your cells make energy way more efficiently, which naturally delays that afternoon fatigue and improves how your body uses oxygen. And what really stands out in the research is this specific metric right here. In a 2010 clinical study on healthy older adults, Cordyceps didn't just give them some subjective, jittery buzz, it actually gave them a 7% increase in oxygen use and a massive 10.5% boost in physical endurance. I mean, that is measurable, functional stamina happening right at the cellular level. Moving right along to Section 2, Stress Relief and Metabolism. So for balancing our internal systems, we really want to turn to Reishi and Maitake. Think of Reishi as a powerful nervous system relaxer. It uses active compounds called triterpenes to help the body handle daily stress and promote deep, restful sleep. In fact, an 8-week clinical study on people dealing with chronic exhaustion showed a massive drop in fatigue and a measurable boost in their overall well-being. Paired with that calming effect, we have Maitake. Maitake's superpower is purely metabolic. Using a specific beta-glucan called the D fraction, clinical studies demonstrate it actually helps the body respond to insulin more effectively and improves blood sugar levels. This was specifically noted in type 2 diabetes research. But the really crucial point here is that Maitake doesn't just balance your blood sugar. Early trials confirm that it literally wakes up key infection-fighting cells in your body. It acts as this brilliant dual-action powerhouse, managing your metabolic health while at the same time keeping your baseline immune defenses on high alert. All right, Section 3, Immune Support and Protection. Diving deeper into the clinical findings, we hit the absolute heavy hitters for deep immunity and cellular protection: turkey tail, chaga, and shiitake. These are the ones exhibiting profound system-wide impacts. Let's break these down, because the data here is just fascinating. Turkey tail is an absolute giant in the oncology field. It uses active polysaccharides like PSK, and large reviews show that when it's used alongside standard chemotherapy, it actually improves survival rates. The results are so compelling, it's approved for this exact medical use in Japan. Then we have shiitake. Its active compound, lentinin, acts as a natural immune booster, while another compound, called iridodenine, actively speeds up clearing bad cholesterol right out of your bloodstream. And finally, chaga. Chaga uses betulinic acid to aggressively block the specific chemicals in your body that trigger chronic inflammation. Now look at this number. It is staggering, and it highlights just how powerful chaga is as an antioxidant. Lab studies on human blood cells show that chaga reduces oxidative damage to our very DNA by up to 40%. It acts essentially like a suit of armor for your cells. But here is a really fascinating twist. Immunity isn't just about fighting external threats, It's highly dependent on internal balance. Studies show that turkey tail acts like a specialized fertilizer for your microbiome. It serves as a food source to heavily multiply the friendly, good bacteria in your gut, making sure your internal ecosystem stays incredibly strong. And finally, Section 4, Choosing high-quality supplements. With all this incredible clinical promise we've seen, you need to know how to actually navigate the market and avoid getting ripped off with ineffective products. So this is rule number 1, and it's completely non-negotiable. You must look for the words fruiting body on the label. This means you're getting 100% of the concentrated actual mushroom with zero starch filler. You want to actively avoid products that heavily rely on mycelium. Mycelium is basically the mushroom's root system, and commercial growers cultivate it on beds of oats or rice. The problem? They just grind the whole thing up. That means up to 50 to 70% of the capsule you just paid good money for might be entirely useless, leftover grain starch. Lastly, proper extraction and label transparency are absolutely key to your success here. Mushrooms have these naturally tough cell walls made of chitin that our human bodies simply cannot digest. So at a bare minimum, you need a hot water extraction to actually absorb any of the benefits. But for the tough, woody mushrooms, specifically reishi, chaga, and lion's mane, you absolutely need to see dual extraction on the bottle. That means they use both water and alcohol to pull out all the specific non-water-soluble active compounds, like those relaxing triterpenes we talked about earlier. Also, ensure the label specifically guarantees greater than 20% beta-glucans. Do not fall for generic catch-all terms like total polysaccharides, because, as we just learned, that often just counts those cheap, starchy grain fillers from the roots. Well, we have covered a ton of ground in this whiteboard review together, from the neurogenesis sparked by lion's mane to the cellular endurance of Cordyceps and the profound immune defense of turkey tail and chaga. Digging into this clinical data clearly shows that these aren't just wellness hype. They're highly specialized, functional tools for the body. So it brings up a great question to consider. After seeing the hard science and the clinical outcomes for yourself, which specific mushroom are you going to choose to target your own unique health goals? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy learning.